So everybody, welcome to class. So reorder to excite. It's one thing I really like to do is to take a really very plain idea, and just by tweaking it a little bit, you're going to get something that is kind of more exciting, I think. So this is example number one. Very usable, standard, kind of bluesy, jazzy line. I use this stuff all the time. So I'm going to show you a neat way to kind of make this a bit more edgy. And I think I've talked about this before, but instead of the point here in this line, by the way, this is sort of like, I'm thinking a 5-1 in the key of A. So this line is on the top of E7, resolving to A. So this is the minor third of A going to major third and then to root. So how you want to look at this line, you could see it from the E point of view, that is it's upper structure chord stuff, going from the 13th and down 11, 9, 7, and so on, and then we think obviously to A. You don't really have to think about any of that. I think of it simpler as a major arpeggio from one note below the root of the dominant, right? So this is E7, so I'm thinking D major 7. Very, very common way of playing on dominant chords. So one way of making this tension release thing a little bit more edgy is just putting a note in between, right? So instead of going from, you put this note in between. By that, it just it gives it a little bit more edge. And so I made a line. I changed it a little bit more as well. So instead of starting there, we're starting here, right? And I want to do the same thing down here. Originally it was right. So I want to do something with this here. Put some notes in between this tension note and the release. So I made up this. It's masking it a little bit, but listen carefully. It's this note going to that one, right? So you can play around with this. One thing I noted that I could do easily was instead of going, I could go, and that's one way. But you really have to just play this and play around with it, you'll suddenly you play something maybe by accident that you like, and that's going to be your lick or your way of your approach into kind of researching this deeper. But to me that line, it sounds like kind of like classic jazz in a way. It's the blues element, the kind of dark thing that I think make up the bluesy feel is kind of stronger when you do it like this. I think you're not releasing it immediately. You kind of you're allowing yourself to kind of stay in that tension and that kind of darkness a little bit longer. I think it's a more sophisticated line. I think it's both of them are good, but it's this one is kind of the approaching when you start playing, just start getting the feel of it. This is a very inside line, and you need you know, a bunch of lines like that to be able to improvise over some time. But this one, it's kind of, it's deeper, you know. You have gone kind of beyond the very obvious stuff, and you by playing a line like this, you're giving a sense of confidence that you don't have to resolve your tensions right away. You know, you're in control enough to keep your tensions a little bit longer and still be perfectly inside and perfectly, you know, you are resolving them. You're not like playing around with just a lot of stuff that is not getting resolved. It's a very kind of clear line in a way, even if it's kind of more sophisticated, but it's very clear. That tension release thing is still very clear there. So yeah, it's by playing stuff like that, you're gonna come across as a more sophisticated player, and it's more interesting, I think, for audiences to listen to. So yeah, it's a good thing to check out, and I hope you like it. I hope you have fun with it, and I hope you kind of play around with it enough to come up with your own stuff, you know. And yeah, that's it. Have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.